Well, hi there. My name is Lucas Morneau, and welcome to my channel and really my first vlog. I am an interdisciplinary artist currently based in New Brunswick, originally from Newfoundland and Labrador. And the reason why I'm making this video today is to, add to the amount of videos online of people who are machine knitting these days. So I'm an interdisciplinary artist, meaning that I work in a plethora of mediums from photography, video, performance, but I feel like a lot of people know me for my textile work. Before I got into machine knitting, which I'll go over a little bit, I was mainly a crocheter, and I've also dabbled in rug hooking. But from that practice, I started to deal with a lot of chronic pain issues with my neck, my back, sometimes my arms. So I decided to switch over to machine knitting, and it doesn't really fully help the pain stuff. You know, it still pops up, but it's much better. I'm able to keep a proper posture when I'm machine knitting, unlike when I crochet, I kind of slouch over and then it gets ruined. I mean my neck. So I started machine knitting back in 2022. I had bought a silver reed LK150 and started using that for a bit. But now I mainly use a Passap Duo80, which is right here next to me, and you'll be seeing throughout the video. And what compelled me to work with machine knitting is a new project I wanted to work on that blends wrestling and drag. And that project sort of shows that wrestling, professional wrestling itself, is a form of drag. Both drag and wrestling are forms of gender performance. And so for the wrestling personas I wanted to create for that project, I decided to machine knit all the outfits. Behind me here is a part of an outfit for one of the wrestlers. Up on the screen now as well, I have two other wrestlers whose outfits I've finished, and I have, after those three, I have 5 more to do. Yeah, I have 5 more to do after this. And it's really been eating up all of my time with the knitting machine, but I have a bunch of yarn that I either have amassed or was gifted that I'm not using for this project. I should say, full note, this project is funded by Arts NB, who I'm very thankful for, and through that I've been able to purchase quite a bit of fingering weight merino nylon mix wool, which I've been dyeing myself and have been using for this project. So most of the outfits, if not all of them, are super silky smooth. There's a few that I used just a regular wool nylon mix, and you can definitely tell it's not as soft. But yeah, I found a new supplier, and now I got the merino stuff again. And, you know, that's been great, but I was gifted, 2 beautiful cones of yarn by my brother for Christmas. These are Tam Trenzy, which is an acrylic and polyamide mix, if I believe. And, I've had these sitting here for, the better part of half a year and couldn't really figure out exactly what I wanted to make. And it sort of came to my mind today of what I wanted to make with them. And so I'm starting that project. Really making a boat neck style striped shirt, a breton shirt, if you will, but it's mainly going to be, thicker stripes of blue, as well as a thinner stripe, let me grab it here, of yellow. So here's the yellow here. And this is just one of my swatches I've made already. So I still have to make my other swatch. This is just a single bed stocking knit. Honestly, it's one of the first times that I've knit single bed stocking knit on the Passap. The Passap, you're able to do that double bed stocking knit, and it's just gorgeous. So I've really been leaning into that for this wrestling project, especially because I kind of need things to be a bit thicker if I'm going to be wearing, tights and things like that. But for the sweater, I don't want to be too warm wearing this. I know it's acrylic, so it's going to keep me warm. So that's why I'm just going ahead with the single layer of the stocking net. I still have to knit a swatch for the rib for this outfit, for this sweater, and I still have to design a knit. But what I'm going to do is set up the machine and do some swatching for the rib, and then we'll move on to the design. I have to say, like, I've only started working with the Passap in the past, it's been almost a year now. I bought it last September from a wonderful woman from Bridgewater named Vera, who taught me quickly how to use it. She had a lot of knitting machines, and I originally went down to her place to buy a white machine, also known as Superba, Singer. There's a few different brands that held the name of that machine, and it was a French knitting machine. But she had convinced me to buy the more expensive Passap off of her, especially because people kind of consider it like the Rolls Royce of knitting machines. And I have to say, it's been a fun journey learning how to use it. Of course, I wouldn't be able to know how to use this if it wasn't for the help of people like Art of Clay on YouTube. Big shout out to them for, having this amazing resource for people like me who are just getting into these machines. And yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend it for someone who's just beginning. Like, probably get a machine before this that you can practice on, something like an LK150. It's going to be almost completely different using an LK150 compared to this, but some of those skills are transferable and quite helpful going forward in terms of learning that stuff. So yeah, as I said, I already have this swatch made. I'm going to make the rib swatch, and then I'm going to figure out the design. I'm thinking, yeah, I just might go ahead and make this more of a cut and sew. I'm not 100 exactly sure if I'm going to do that. I think I just need to figure out exactly how I'm going to do the neckline. Whether or not I'm going to put like a rib. There is this beautiful Passap pattern for a Fair Isle boat neck sweater from Passap Book 3, which I kind of want to take inspiration from, but I'm a little scared to work that with that. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah. So I got the swatch done. So what I've done is, like most swatches, I did 20 rows of waste yarn. I even put some holes here just to know exactly what my tension was on my lock, which in this case it was a 4. And then I knit 100 rows. It was 60 stitches. And then at rows 40 and 60, at the 50th stitch, I put a mark. Now you might notice here on this one, I put a little dot of marker on there because that stitch marker is on the back. So that way I can tell from the little lines of blue that show up here which one is the actual marker line. I mean, I could have pulled this through, but I've already knotted it. Maybe I'll fix it. Who knows? But yeah, I'm going to stretch this out a little bit, let it sit overnight, and then I'll figure out the tension rating format and put it into Design in it. By then, I should have the actual outfit figured out. I don't know exactly if I'm going to go for something that's, more of like a rib on the top for that boat neck. And who knows, I might decide afterwards to not do a boat neck. Part of me wants to do cut and sew, which is going to be easier to do just a round neck for that or a V-neck. But I just really love boat necks. And I think this sweater will look nicer if I do a boat neck. So I'll do some research into trying to figure out how to do the neck here and combine the shoulders. And we'll see how that goes. And as you can tell, well, you can't see the window here, but it's gotten darker. So I'm going to call it quits for tonight. I'm going to let both of these swatches just rest. I would usually wash these and sometimes steam, but I know this is acrylic, so it probably doesn't want to be steamed. And I honestly don't really have time to wash this at the moment. That might be a tomorrow thing. But one thing I did notice, usually when I'm using my Passap, you don't have to add weights to the back, but within the first few rows, and usually it's right after I do my cast on, I'll usually take a string, put it down on top of the knitting down into the bed, and then tie a weight onto that string so that it has a bit of tension pulling down, and that really helps with the stitches on the ends. And I didn't do that this time, and I noticed that it looks like it dropped that end stitch a few times as it was going. So I know for future's sake I should probably just add that weight. But I didn't do it this time because I was probably focusing too much on the camera. Anyway, it might not be tomorrow that I start doing this again. We'll see. I have other projects with this one. I have to make a whole set of wrestling briefs for this one, and I'm going to try to make a video for that as well. But we'll see if I start working on that or if I start working on this sweater first. And welcome back to the next day. It's still summer, so I'm wearing tank tops, but yeah, I've sort of just woken up a little bit a while ago. I went and washed. It's still in the tub there, but I'm washing currently some knitted fabrics that I have dyed for this outfit. And the specific things I knitted are these, like, I would say calf height or a little bit higher style of slippers that look a lot like wrestling boots. And this was a pattern that Art of Clay put up only a few days ago. And I was really inspired to use that for one of the wrestlers. So I've knitted those, I've dyed it now, so it's fuchsia and black. And I'm gonna probably go try and find some flip-flops to put on the bottom, at least just the sole part. And that way they're gonna look a little bit more like wrestling boots than just slippers. And I'll show you those in a bit. I also have some panels here that I knit that are drying. And these are for some knee pads that I made. So here's the front of the knee pad. I already have the foam put inside. I originally had made some straps that went on the back and up the leg, but I found that they just didn't adhere as well to the leg. So what I did was I knit some flat panels with a fisherman's rib, and they're still a little bit damp, but once they're dry, I'm going to go ahead and sum up the sides, and then this will be the back. Here's the front. And hopefully there should be enough stretch so that they can stick on while also still being comfortable. And I figured out the design for the sweater this morning. I decided to go ahead with the boat neck. And what I'm going to do is, once I have about 30 rows left, I'm going to switch from my stocking net to a rib, and then going to cast off from after that rib. And that's going to be just blue. There's going to be no stripes to that rib. And so they're straight sleeves, straight neck. Once I have both the front and back panels done, what I'm going to do is to essentially put the panels on the machine to start knitting the sleeves from there. And I'm going to overlap those. I'm going to overlap the rib on the top so that they kind of combine up here, but then they ease out. This is a way of doing these boat necks that I discovered through YouTube, thanks to Roberta Rose Meads, who originally made it for like a kid's sweater, but I felt like it would work great for an adult size boat neck. The one issue I'm facing at the moment, I've sort of styled the sweater to be a bit more a casual size, and it's best to put it that I'm thick. I'm right thick. You know, I'm 6 foot. My grandfather was a wrestler, so I'm built pretty wide. And so if I went to go and knit that panel by itself, the front or the back, I would need 190 needles, which I do not have. My machine maxes out at 180. So what I'm going to do is, and this is what I'm deciding in the moment, I'm going to go ahead and knit them so that it's half the panels, and I'll later stitch them up with a Kitchener stitch so that it's a bit more invisible. It's not the best way to do it, I don't think. I really don't want to make 3 panels and then do up, you know, even more stitching. I'd rather do as least amount of hand stitching as possible. But I feel like in this situation, I'm willing to have that little seam go down the middle than I am doing multiple layers or multiple seams, right? My hope is that it just doesn't look too bad. So we'll have to see how that looks. Another option, yeah. So my options for that were to just do 2 halves, bring them together. Another option was to do the main body and then do 2 smaller panels on the sides. And, you know, that could also work. But in the end, it's going to be less work to do the 2 halves. This is why sometimes I wish this machine had more needles. They're not really bigger body friendly. And I'm not a really big person. I'm just pretty broad. And so, yeah, that's sort of the solution I've come up with. And I'm going to add a few stitches on the side. So instead of it being, you know, split down to what's going to be 80, 95 and 95, if I recall. Yeah, 95 and 95. I'm going to probably bring it more to 97 or maybe 98, so that when I do that Kitchener stitch, I usually will lose a little bit on either side. So maybe even just doing 96 would be better. But that way, you know, if I go and split and then add those few stitches, you know, I'm not going to lose too many stitches in that Kitchener stitch. And so that way I will have a garment that fits me. What I'm probably going to do, as well, as I sort of mentioned, is it's going to be my first time doing it with the Passap, but I'm going to hang the front and back panels where the sleeves will connect onto the machine itself, and then I'm going to knit from the top of the sleeve down, decreasing, which honestly I kind of prefer to decrease over increasing. So it does require like one less step, so it's a bit faster, and that way I'm going to get that done. I also, you know, I did this rib swatch, but I don't think I actually need it. You know, most printemps shirts, they don't have ribbing on the sleeve or at the bottom. In general, what they'll do is just do like a hem, and even on the side, it doesn't really connect all the way at the bottom. There's usually like a few stitches where they still separate, and so you have this like little bit of ease on the front and back. And then the sleeves as well just have a hem. So what I'm probably going to do is knit probably a few more rows than I'm supposed to before I start, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'll probably start off on waste yarn and then do like a ravel cord, and then when I'm ready, go ahead and yeah, do that hemming afterwards, which is just more work, you know. I might incorporate my sewing machine with the side panels. I will probably get so frustrated with all of the hand sewing that I'll just want to use the sewing machine. Though I've also just contacted someone online about a baby lock serger. I contacted them yesterday and I still am waiting for a response. So I don't know if it's still available. It was up there for a few weeks, so my worry is that it has been sold and this person just is really bad at, you know, checking Facebook. You know, I'm also really bad at checking Facebook. So we will start the front panel, or at least one part of the front panel, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. And once I have those panels, actually, what I'm going to go do first is finish washing those knitted vamps, or not vamps, knitted slippers, and then show you that progress. I still have to make the lace for that, which is going to be done like a tricotin, is it? Tricotin? French knitting. And I don't know if I'm going to do that on the Passap or just on my LK150, which is in the other room. Wherever, which one is going to be faster. And I don't know if I want to do black laces or if I want to do white. I think with the little pop of white, it would be nice on this outfit. Something that's a little bit different. The black is going to blend in a little bit. And the edging where those eyelets are is black. So I kind of feel like white might be the answer for this. So I'm going to finish washing that and I'll show you what that all looks like. A little update. I lied. I'm not going to show the slippers yet. I had to put them in the washing machine because I forgot I dyed them the fuchsia. The fuchsia it bleeds so much until it's fully washed. So instead of hand washing it constantly and like flaring up my own eczema, putting it in the washing machine with an extra rinse. That should hopefully get rid of all of the bleed. It's not like I'm going to be washing these with other garments anyway, so it's fine if it bleeds a little tiny bit, but I'm just going to get to the knitting machine. So I'm going to cast on 47 on either side of the center, which will bring me to 94. That's at least what my program's telling me to do. 90 times 88. So I'm actually going to want to go a bit further than that, actually. We're going to go to 44. I'm going 49 on either side. Yeah, we're going 49 on either side. Say hello to Elsa. I would put my laptop there, but she took over the spot before I could. And so I got my waist yarn. I also got some cotton lace yarn that I'm going to use for my ravel cord. We'll see how that goes. You're not going to see the whole garment being made. I'm going to check in every now and then. But for the first little bit, I'll show you how I'm going to do the waist yarn. To correct myself, I actually want to go ahead and do this in a rib. So let me get this lined up. And the reason why is because once I have did my waist yarn and ravel yarn, I'm going to want to transfer over my needles to the single bed over here, the front bed, so that I can do a single bed stocking knit. Again, I am not used to doing this, so this is a whole new experience for me, and you get to see me fail. Again, Elsa is here just relaxing. So now let's try this again. Okay, so I'm back. My lunch is currently cooking in the air fryer. So I decided to make the swatch, and here it is. And comparing it to the swatch for the single bed stocking knit, it's much bigger. So I don't think I will have to separate the pieces into two for the front and the back, thankfully. So that's one positive. It also seemed to knit up a bit easier on the double bed. So hopefully I won't come across the issues like I did with the single bed. Just to bring that piece over again, here's that piece. I mean, I love the size of the stripes, but as you can see, there's a hole here. And I was encountering some like rough spots during the knitting. The front looks okay, except for where that hole is. But, you know, I was encountering some issues the whole time. I found that the center of the bed, a few stitches would sometimes catch, and I'm not experiencing that with the double bed. So maybe it's just the case that I have to increase the tension with the single bed. But, you know, my comfort zone's with the double bed. So we'll go ahead with this. And I mean, look how big this swatch is. This is almost the length of a body piece itself, and that's 120 stitches. So, you know, I'll probably only need 140, 160, and that'll be the whole bed, thankfully. And it's quite stretchy. So even if I went with a more normal style, because I think I had this one styled as a casual from designing it. But if I went with or comfort, yeah, this one's casual, I think, and this one was comfort. So going more with the casual, I think, is going to make more sense, or like a normal fitting. And yeah, it's fun to see these different swatches in play, I guess. I also have finished washing. Oh, this is the slipper. It's still wet, so I have to put it down, let it rest and block. But as you can see, it has eyelets on the sides, and then it's fisherman's rib here. So it'll go around the leg and foot, and hopefully will look a bit like a wrestling boot. And I'm excited to see how that turns out. You know, if it doesn't turn out okay, that's fine. I can always like unravel it. I think with this outfit right here, it's going to look pretty cool. And especially with the knee pads, with these being the same color, it's really going to help tie it in. I just need to figure out the design for the briefs. I've been thinking about putting some words on the back, on the butt, but that would require some pusher work, which would definitely increase the amount of time it will take to make them. And I don't know how good it would look. You know, it's obviously going to have a bit of a pixelated look to it because of that. So a part of me is also sort of considering embroidering it on, though I know that's going to add a bit of bulk to the back. So, and I have attempted to do that before with some stuff, and it didn't look the best. You know, another option would be to do like an applique to get some other fabric and to put it on that way, or to just stone it. I plan to get some rhinestones for this outfit. The name of the wrestler is Rhinestone Ron Johnston, or Rhinestone Ron Johnstone. I haven't figured out if it's going to be Johnston or Johnstone. At this point, I am liking Johnstone, Rhinestone Ron Johnstone. But there's going to be a back patch to this, as well as like a nice crest in the front right here above the breast. And I'm going to be getting that embroidered, and I'm going to rhinestone parts of that as well. And so I feel like continuing that rhinestoning into the briefs might be fun. But for now, I'm going to go back to making my lunch, and I'll figure out what I'm going to do from there. I feel like I have an understanding of what this tension swatch is going to be like. So I'll measure it and alter all my lengths and stuff on designing it and see what the design is like. So I've edited my pattern to the new tension with this swatch, and I only need 71 stitches on either side of the bed in the casual style. The other one's called like a normal. I forget the actual term. But for the casual / like comfort one, I only need 71. So I'm going ahead now, and I am getting all the needles set on my bed. There we go. I've noticed as well that this yarn does have a tendency to shed a bit. So I'm going to have to clean my machine probably after this. I don't really have that issue with my merino yarn. Actually, what I'm going to go ahead right now is just blow those little dusties out of the way before I knit. Then I'll get a proper vacuum and do everything later. So I'm going to reset my row counter. I'm going to go ahead and I have my needles set to 3. I'm going to pick up my waste yarn and knit. We're going to put it on tension 4, put them in the CX. And go to tension 5, go back to N, and finish this. I'm going to reset it, and I'm going to do 20 rows, switch over to my cotton yarn here for my ravel cord, which I will say worked really well. I tested it out on that little, that first try I made, and it came off really easily. So I'm going to continue and use that. But we'll go ahead and do our 20 rows, and then I'm going to, get back to you in a moment. So I'm just checking in quickly. This is row 231. I'm going to go into row 232, and then I'm going to transfer this all into rib. At first I was going to do 1-to-1, but now I feel like doing 2-to-1. I feel like that might look nicer. I just have to do the math and see if that will add up. But here's 232. Switch over to the blue, and I'm going to get ready to transfer the stitches, and I'll check in again. Okay, so I'm almost done transferring all these needles. I actually just went and emptied out my card so that I could go ahead and show you the rest of this. But I am doing a 2-to-1 pattern. I know I swatched for a 1-to-1. I'm not even going to use that swatch. You're probably asking why bother. But now that I know what this yarn is like, I at least could buy Tam Trenzy again in the future, and then knit more things with that. To show you what this is looking like, I don't know if you can see this from here. Maybe I'll just show you the knit after I'm done. But it's looking really nice. I'm quite happy with the double-sided jacquard, the double-sided stocking knit on this. You know, it's not exactly what I had planned for in the beginning, but I don't think it's going to be too thick of a sweater given how thin this yarn is. And in the end, like, I run really warm. I run like a radiator. So having something that's a bit thinner of a sweater would be nice for the winter and fall. Yeah, it looks like I am about 1 off here. On this side. So that will probably be absorbed anyway in my all of this. Okay, never mind. I see what I did done. This is wrong here. So this needs to go over on this side. Yeah, because I divided my numbers and I thought this was right, and it is. I just messed up the pieces here. And I don't know how I feel about the fact that I have this finishing on this side here. Generally, that's not what you would want to do with the Passap, with the needle rule. So I'm going to elect to bring this one over to the side anyway. You know, this stitch is going to end up most likely being absorbed, if you will, into the shoulder. So it's not as important for it to be the same style of rib. Okay, and it's so sunny on here right now. I have two different colors of lights going, so my white balance might be really weird. I reset my row counter. I'm at tension 5, and I think I might stick to that. Let me just make sure that all of my stitches, oh, there's one here and one there, are resting. Okay, they are. Now I'm going to do tension 5. Actually, let's do 4.5. Yeah. We'll go down a bit. So we have to do 30 rows. So what I'm gonna do, let's see. I'm gonna transfer all my stitches to this bed, knit one row, and then we will cast off. So I'm going to start doing that. Okay. I have this side set to 6, this one to 5. Let's bring it over. That last little bit is always a little hard. I'm just checking on my yarn down there. Looks like I have quite a bit left. Hopefully enough for the finished product. And I'm just going to go and start to move all of these down so I can cast off. And what I'll do is I'll meet you on the other side once this is off the machine. So I have the front piece off of the machine. Here it is. So it's going to be like, yeah, this sort of rib neck that is going to join up at the shoulders. And you know, oh, this is the wrong side. Over here's the right side. And that's going to, you know, attach at the shoulders and have this really nice boat neck. I really like the pattern. I mean, it's a very basic stripe pattern, but it works really well with the colors that I've chosen. I'm really happy with how the blue and the yellow have turned out, and I'm excited to continue on with this project. I'm going to probably work on it later on today. I have to go do some spin now and then take a shower, and yeah, maybe I'll come back to the studio and do the back. So I'm just starting the second side, the back here, after doing my little workout and having a shower. I'm kind of taking my time with this one just because my arms are a tiny bit sore from the past time. So I already have a few rows on here. This is going to be row 17. And I switch off into my 2 yellow. I will say, comparing this yarn to the other yarns that I've used before, it's definitely a little tougher to knit with. You know, the tension's actually fine, like looking at the stitches, but it's just, I guess with the lack of nylon in it, I'm just not used to having to push as hard, which is also probably playing a role into why my wrists are hurting a little bit. But I'm going to continue on. This shouldn't take too long. I have some laundry on the go as well, so I'll have to go and pick up that in a second. But let's continue on. I'm actually like sweating a little bit. I think it might be from just working out and having taken a hot shower, or the fact this room is really warm. I got quite a bit of sun into it during the afternoons, and so you can probably hear I have a fan going behind me, and it's not doing any justice to how warm it is. So I've made it to 232 rows. That means I have to start transferring stitches for my rib. So first I'm just gonna move my racking handle halfway up so it's facing upwards, and I'm gonna start doing my 2-to-1 pattern. And I will have a lot of blue left, so I am a little worried that I'm going to run out for this sweater. So I might have to look into buying some more. Yellow is fine. You know, one option could be to make the sleeves 6 rows of yellow, 2 rows of blue, but I would have to consult a few people about that, I think. So I'm going to continue on, and I'll catch up with you after everything is done. Apologies if I make any loud sounds. This is what it looks like currently. I've just pinned the top here, and I went in about 7 of the double rib in, or 2 to 1, and I pinned it there. I'd probably even go a little bit further, maybe to 8 or 9, but I'm liking how this is looking. I'm trying to look at my screen, and there's a light exactly in the way, so I can't actually really see it at the moment, but the length seems fine, especially because I have to do the hem, and if I take it in, I think this is going to be a nice sweater. So from here, I need to really figure out what the sleeve measurement is going to be, and then figure out, you know, a better sleeve width. As I mentioned, I don't think I have enough of the blue left to finish this without having to buy more yarn. And my worry is I don't have much of the yellow as well. So one option would be to unravel the swatches that I made and just note down what those measurements were, because those were, 120 rows each, stitches for 100 stitches, and that's gonna give me quite a bit of yarn. That, or just go with the same color and figure it out. So maybe what I'll do is leave this as the end of this video. I'm gonna do some thinking about what I want to do for the sleeves. You'll hear an update for that later. Whether I want to go with the same blue 6 and yellow 2 pattern, or if I'm going to go ahead and do like a 6 yellow 2 blue pattern, for the sleeves. I think that could potentially look pretty cool. Again, my worry would be to run out of both of those yarns and have to buy it myself. And I have to see if the website for Canada is working, because I tried to look it up yesterday or the day before, and the website wasn't loading. It was offline. So there's a chance that I might have to order this from the US as well, which will just be an additional expense. And I hope I don't have to do that. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning into this vlog. I'm sorry that I couldn't really finish this sweater in time. I've only done it in 2 days, and I have a front and back panel, and that's including the mishap with the single bed. And this is all a learning experience. Part of me wants to make this sweater without the the pressure of the outfits I'm making for the wrestling project, because that's really expensive yarn compared to this. And I have 3 wrestlers. Oh, I have 2 wrestlers that I'm done. I have one that I'm working pretty well on, and I really have to start thinking of the next designs. And some of them are going to be quite complex. Like one of them has to have a full rope. So, and that I'm planning to use the deco pattern potentially for that one. Or potentially even doing like a tuck stitch or a lace pattern for that. So that I foresee that being something I do in the future. But for now, just getting more used to garment making is one of the bigger things I'm taking this lesson as. Elsa, can you not chew on that bag, please? Do you want to be in the video? Come over here. Come over here. No? Okay. Yeah. As I was saying, me finishing this sweater is more or less just for fun. A nice little thing I could wear in the fall and the winter. Whereas it's not going to be as big pressure with, this jacket I made and all of the rest of the outfits I've made. So yeah, stay tuned. Hopefully we'll have this sweater done soon. And I'll show you how I end up making the other stuff for this project as well. And I have some other cool yarns that I really want to use for other projects. So I have this like cone of silk yarn that, knowing now how much I use for the sweater, I'll probably end up doing something like a tank top or like a sweater vest, which could be pretty cool. And I see that as a future project. But for now, yeah, let's end the video where it is now. And thank you so much for getting to the end of this video. You didn't have to watch it. And if you decided to knit along while doing this, it's amazing. My name is Lucas. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a fantastic day.